Hi, my name is Ian Middleton. I'm a travel and landscape photographer, and this is one of my quick photography tips. Now in today's video, I'm going to show you a potential problem to watch out for when using a neutral density graduated filter. This problem only occurs at longer focal lengths, so if you're using them at short focal lengths, you may not be aware that you have this problem. The ND grad filter, or the neutral density graduated filter, as we all know them. Popular filters, many of us use them, many of you may be looking to use them. I've been using them myself for a while now. But recently I discovered a problem with these filters that isn't all obvious at first. This problem only seems to occur at longer focal lengths. So when you're photographing with short focal lengths, like I was a lot at first, this problem won't occur and you won't even notice it. But it wasn't until I started shooting at longer focal lengths, which I do here. Obviously here in Slovenia there's a lot of mountain scenes, and I quite often use long focal lengths for my shots. And when I started to use some of these filters at longer focal lengths, I discovered a problem. It was a bit weird at first, but my images were distorted. So the first thing I saw was that the image became distorted first on the bottom half, on the clear half, and then as you progressed to a longer focal length, the distortion rose until eventually the whole of the image was distorted at extremely long focal lengths. Now while I discovered this first on one brand of filters, I then looked at the filter I had from another brand, and actually this had a similar problem, although it wasn't as bad. And I'd noticed this at first on one of my older pictures, but I thought at the time, because I was shooting at a very long focal length and maybe it was a bit breezy, the shutter speed was a bit slow, and I thought at the time, oh, I got a bit of camera shake. But then when I looked more closely at it, and then I did some more tests with that filter, I saw that this filter was exhibiting the same problem at longer focal lengths. Now typically the problem starts around 200 millimeters. Now it doesn't happen on all of my filters. So, first I thought maybe there's something with my lens, problem with my equipment, but I'm shooting with high-end equipment. I have a Canon 5D Mark III. I have a 100-400 L series lens. So this is top quality glass. Yeah. So I then did some tests with every single filter that I had. And only some of the filters exhibited the problem. Some of my other filters, I have a 4-stop hard grad, a 4-stop soft grad, a 3-stop soft grad, and each of these filters work perfectly. At 400 millimeters, the image is still pin sharp. So it's not my equipment, and it only happened on some filters. So, in this video, I'm going to show you this problem. I'm going to show you when it occurs and what it looks like, and I recommend that everyone who has these filters and you're not using, or you haven't used them at longer focal lengths, and maybe you have and you've seen this problem but you thought it was something to do with your equipment. Either way, I recommend that you test each of your filters at your longest focal length to see if you have this problem or not. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, then I recommend that you get in touch with your filter manufacturer and get them to look at it. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you now exactly what happens. I'm going to put, this is a 3-stop medium grad filter. I'm going to put this on my lens now. I have a 100-400 millimeter lens and a nice distance scene. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to progress through the focal range, taking several pictures so you can see when this occurs and how it looks. And you can look for this too yourself. Now I've chosen this filter because this is the worst filter I have. This filter exhibits the worst distortion of all of them. In some cases my filters have a mild distortion, but you can still see how it looks, and then you can check your own. Maybe you have a mild distortion, maybe you have it bad after 200 and you've never actually used it over 200 to see this. Or hopefully you don't have this problem. But one thing for sure, I recommend that if you have neutral density graduated filters that you check each of your filters at your longest focal length to see if you have this problem or not. Okay, so I'm going to put this on now. Okay. Okay. So, got the filter on, got the filter in place. Okay. So, I'm going to try to show you, using the video also on this camera, how it looks. I'm going to progress from 100 to 400 slowly, and we can see hopefully the distortion appearing and how it looks. Now at the moment I'm at 100 millimeters, so the image itself is perfectly clear. Okay. Okay, so I'll take a shot at 100. Now I'm going to start the video. Now I'm going to progress slowly from 100 to 150. Now I'm at 200. Okay. Now I'm going to go from 200. I'll just recheck my focus. Okay. 250. 300. 400. Now here at 400 we can really see the distortion. Now I'm going to take a photo now at 400. Okay, perfectly in focus. It's completely distorted. I'll show you those pictures now on the screen. Okay. Let's come back now. 300. I'll take another photo at 300. Turn this off. There we go. Video back on. Bring this now to 200. That's with the bad filter I got. Okay, 3-stop medium grad. I'll now do the same with one of the filters that is working correctly. Okay, this one is a 3-stop soft grad. Okay, now I'll do the same thing with the 3-stop soft grad that is working okay. $135, 150, 200, 250, 300, 400. So there you have it. A potentially hidden problem with your neutral density graduated filters if you don't use them, or you don't use them much at longer focal lengths. So something definitely to watch out for, and I certainly suggest if you have these, and especially if you have some telephoto lenses, then test them at your longest focal length and test every single filter to see if your filter has this problem. I hope you don't. I hope maybe it's just some of the filters that I got. But please let me know in the comments if you do this test and what your results are, especially if you find that you have the same problem with your filters. I would very much like to know about it. Okay, so I'll show you now also some photos that I've taken in other locations when I first found this problem, and thankfully I discovered the problem immediately. That's the beauty of digital cameras. We can look at our images on the LCD screen when we take them, and immediately I saw this problem and I stopped using these filters so I could continue with my photo shoot, and my evening photo shoot thankfully wasn't ruined, but it could have been if I hadn't been checking. So as I say, watch out for this problem. Okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd really appreciate it, and check out some of my other videos as well. And as I said, let me know if you find this problem with your neutral density graduated filters or not, and check them at your longest focal length. And if you don't have long focal lengths, if you have a friend or someone you know that has a zoom lens or a telephoto lens and you can borrow it, I suggest you borrow it and try it, because this is a hidden problem.